Proudest moment on my season was definitely the finale. We had to make a larger-than-life wedding, and time was not on our side. One of the creatures was made completely out of pumpkin, and the other was cake, bringing a true balance of cake, sugar, and pumpkin.
When I was on season 4, episode 3 of Halloween Wars, my favorite piece was our mummy versus werewolf. I did not think we could pull it off, but I was so proud of that piece, and I still remember it to this day, and that moment that I felt of just being really proud to have artistic expression on this show and just be proud of a piece. I didn't really care that we won, but it was awesome that we won that episode and the finale.
My proudest moment from that season was truly our finale piece. We had worked together episode after episode after episode. We got to know one another. We got to see each other's skill sets and communication styles. And we finally got to bring it together for this winning showcase piece.
My proudest moment from our winning season was the very end piece. It was so beautiful. A lot of people didn't think it was scary, but it really didn't matter because it was so stunning to see in person. It was amazing.
My proudest moment of season 11 was our vampire goat yoga cake. It was kind of difficult to build it. It was really off-centered, and I had never done anything like that. And so I wanted to make sure that it looked kind of proportionate and not too crazy. And that was a great moment for me.
So my favorite part about last season was right before we got to the finale. It was a piece that came together with all 3 art forms, and it was so seamless that even we stepped back and took a look at it, and we were like, okay.
For our finale last season, we had to create a scene showing what was hiding in the attic of the Halloween Wars haunted house. And for that, we showed a witch who was trapped in an ancient painting and how that witch was escaping and was about to terrorize the town.
In the finale challenge, we made a giant clown riding on a roller coaster made out of a giant pumpkin while he's terrorizing a little kid sitting next to him.
The story for our season finale piece was Thumbelina, which, is not really a scary story, but we pulled it off with the colors and the textures on the piece. It was amazing.
In our finale episode, we made a battle between this mythical bird or eagle creature and the serpent man. And so it was kind of a battle between good and evil. And I think we kind of had those intertwined and had some movement there. So I was really happy how that came out.
Our finale challenge was based in France in the catacombs, and it was a skeleton model, and she was walking down the catacomb runway in her bat-covered dress.
One of the main things I learned was teamwork. You have to have a cohesive team.
I learned from our last season that there's so many great competitors here, and so you never know what to expect, and you really want to have a great storyline to your piece. So it's not all about execution, but it's adherence to the theme as well, and so telling a good story with your cakes.
There's a lot of things I learned from last time that I'm bringing back. And I think for me, it's just doing crazier stuff with sugar than I thought was possible and not to be afraid.
I learned that it's so important to have a strong team. The teamwork has to be there, and you all have to be on the same planning mind, because if not, it's not gonna come through. You also have to be strong because it takes a lot of work. Mentally, physically, it just takes a toll on your body. So I'm ready for it.
And pretty much the knowledge that if I put my mind to it, I could do it. I just gotta get my teammates on board, and if they're on board, then we can accomplish anything.
Trusting our instincts, letting the creativity, lead our ideas, and continuing to try to do things that have never been done on the show before. I think pushing those boundaries really creates these magical pieces.
So I've definitely learned how to work more organized and cleaner. It's important to realize where all your tools are at every single moment.
This time around, I just want to go bigger. I want to press myself a little bit more. I just think with this being the All-Stars season, I just have to go bigger, better, and more elaborate with my builds.
This time around, I want to show more of my sugar skills. So I always feel that I get stuck doing more cake than sugar, even though I'm here to be a sugar artist. So I'm hoping to show more sugar skills this time around.
For this season, I really want to nail the time management side of things. I feel very confident with my team. I have a really skilled cake and sugar artist, and we all work really, really well together. So I really want to hone in and make sure that we nail this time management aspect.
What I'd like to do differently this time around is to actually incorporate a little more of a buttercream aspect, to try just to bring an old school medium to a new school competition.
I would like to smile more. I need to just relax and step back a bit and just really enjoy the process.
This time around, what I think I'm going to do differently is I'm going to focus more on detail that I can do and make sure that all our pieces are cohesive and tell a complete story so that there's no delineation between sugar, pumpkin, and cake.
I'm a big fan of zombies. Anything dead, coming to life, dripping flesh. That's my go-to. So I'm hoping I get something kind of undead this season.
I want to create a unique monster. I want something that stands out amongst the rest of our competitors, something that draws attention to our builds, whether that's just because it's big or just because we have really good dynamic elements. But I want to have a standout piece, the one that's on all the commercials.
My ideal monster would be a sea serpent, just because they're slimy and that goes really well with sugar work.
I would love to create a wild, evil Sasquatch. I think Sasquatches are really cool. They're mysterious, and people swear they see them, and they're always could be lurking in the woods.
There's a lot of fantasy and a lot of fairy tale that can be brought to the monster world, and I think that's something our team would really love to explore this year, the untold stories of monsters past.
I would love to do some type of reptile on this show that's just like drooling and growling. I can even hear it in my head already.